Now, South Africa is hosting the 27th Interpol African Regional Conference in Cape Town. Acting Police Minister Professor Feroz Kachalia will open the gathering, which aims to enhance policing capabilities across the continent. Juniour Khumalo joins us now live from Cape Town, where we're set to see this opening. Juniour, this gathering comes at a time when South Africa's porous borders continue to fuel rising crime, including human trafficking, illegal mining, drugs being shipped to our shores in some aspects. What do we expect to come out of this conference?
Indeed, Arabile, as you mentioned, there are quite a host of challenges that the country is facing, including those that you've mentioned. But on top of that, there's also a rise in kidnappings for ransom, with some of these individuals also finding themselves being crossed across South Africa's borders into other neighboring countries, needing that requirement of South African police to also work with other law enforcement officials from other countries. There's also illegal mining that you spoke about. Some of these alleged illegal miners come from various different countries. We saw this unfolding in the Northwest, where some of those individuals that were underground for such a long time came from countries such as Lesotho as well as Mozambique. So there is that need basically for working together and enhancing the capabilities of police across the region as well. So those are some of the outcomes that we do expect that are going to come out of this conference, but also new technologies and how to implement them into the South African context. But as you've already mentioned, going into this conference, the SAPS basically a lot of people, especially in the country, doubting the capabilities of the SAPS, but also the explosive allegations that have come out from the KZN National Police Commissioner, also clouding basically the perception of South Africans within the police sector. And also now that commission that was supposed to get underway on the 1st of September being pushed back because of certain delays. So there are quite a few challenges, but let me bring in the National Deputy Commissioner to speak to us. Ma'am, thank you so much for making time for us. We go into this conference in circumstances, in an environment where South Africans basically are doubting the capabilities of the police, given the allegations that have been made. Now there has been that delay of the commission that was meant to start. Just your thoughts as the top brass of the police. Would you have liked to go into this conference knowing fully well that the commission is going underway?
Thank you very much, Junior, and thank you for the opportunity that you always ensure that we do get the South African Police Service. Let me start off, Junior, on whether as the police we are going to be confident in this conference amid the challenges that the country is facing. Challenges will always be there. I think it's just the levels in which they are. But that, Junior, does not mean that we need to sit back and do nothing. We are continuing, and we are going to continue to make South Africans proud. We are continuing with our operations because we cannot not do policing in the country. That is where we are coming from. That is where we have bargained for this conference, that as the country, we also need to have an opportunity in our region to host. And I think it comes at the right time at this conference where South Africans are so doubtful of our policing capability, to make sure that we collaborate, we partner, we bring in innovation within the region and abroad, and as far-flung as the 197 member countries of Interpol are concerned. So meaning that we do have this conference today as a regional conference, but as you can see yourself around here, we have countries such as France, we have China, we have Japan, we have Korea. They are all here because we are concerned as the country, and we want to bring that innovation, that partnership, that cooperation to fight this transnational crime, particularly organized crime, because we believe that we are at the state where we are because of organized crime. You mentioned illegal mining. It's one of the issues that are topical in this conference that we'll be dealing with. We are talking about the criminals that are crossing the borders, this is one of the issues that we are going to be talking about in terms of a mutual legal assistance, and as to how do we get them back to in the country, those that have committed outside the country in other countries. How do we then leverage that? How do we then cooperate with others to give them those criminals? So these are some of the issues that we are looking at. The cybercrime, I think we have for the longest time had the inputs that are coming across the country and elsewhere, that we need to look at tightening the current trends that are happening. One of the issues, one of the topics that we'll be dealing with is how are we going to be working together in terms of cybercrime, cyber enablers, and what is it that as countries that are concerned about crime are going to be assisting one another in making sure that we bring together those skills and we fight crime together.
You spoke about trying to assist each other as countries in terms of bringing either criminals who've run away from South Africa or those that are in South Africa and run away from other countries. In South Africa, we know that there has been that challenge of trying to bring in individuals, your Shepherd Bushiris, the Guptas, trying to bring them back. What sort of discussions do you expect to be around that, trying to bring those criminals back to South Africa? Because part of the loss of confidence when it comes to people's trust within the SAPS has been the failure of bringing back some of these criminals that we know are alleged to have done so many wrongdoings in South Africa.
Junior, I don't believe in failures in those negotiations. There are processes. When we talk about a mutual legal assistance, and I want to indicate on the issues of Interpol. You know, Interpol brings together every police agencies that needs to participate and be there, and they are assisting with enablers in terms of the Interpol capabilities are concerned. In the flagging, red flagging, when we talk criminals, it's those red notices that are issued, and when that is done, when we have managed to locate where the criminal is, then the negotiations start. So it is a process. It's not a once-off process that we know you are in Guinea, you can just come back. There are processes, there are agreements, there are MOUs, there are bilaterals that have been signed. There are treaties that we have signed. We follow all those processes to make sure that we do not have gaps in making sure that those that need to go across or come to South Africa to stand trial are done. We know that each country have its laws, and those laws are taken into consideration when we negotiate on bringing them back to the country.
You spoke about all of these countries that are here, quite a number. I see a lot of flags from Germany, China, Brazil, but they're coming into a Western Cape province that has, in the recent days, in the past few days, a number of people have been killed due to taxi violence and gang violence. I think from Saturday until yesterday, there were about 7 people that lost their lives. 7, actually, 2 more yesterday, as well as 3 that were wounded as well. Just as the SAPS nationally, what are you trying to do to assist the Western Cape in the violence that has been happening?
Thank you very much for that question, Junior. I think I came before everybody else come, except for the local organizing committee. We have our 2 generals that are responsible to making sure that they bring this conference together, General Sintumule and General Jacobs. General Jacobs have been here, and he is sitting on the committee, that priority committee. You know that on my other cap as a crime preventionist, I'm also responsible for the joint structure that is looking at holistically how do we fight crime with other agencies, as well as the National Crime Combating Forum. So we have had deployments. I think so far we're still continuing. What I was also doing from Sunday, since I arrived here, is to look at where these teams that we have sent here are located. So we do have the teams that we have sent, that we have been sending, that we will continue to send to fight crime in the Cape Flats, as we know that Cape Flats is one of our hotspots in terms of crime, not only in the Western Cape, but Western Cape, as you are rightfully saying, we are tired of people losing their lives. And that is what we are trying to come in between to assist the province, that if you have 500, let me also give you my other 50 and see if visibility, which we believe the more visible we are, is the more that we are going to saturate the space and at least suppress. I believe, Junior, that if it was not these interventions, we could be talking of the West. Although the encouragement is to tweak and correct that moral fiber within our communities. We need a responsible and a responsive communities to fight crime, not for them to be caged and always have law enforcement around. We need people to have their freedom. We need people to know that crime does not pay. We cannot encourage even our small children, because what we have discovered and experienced in the Western Cape, you get children as young as 13, as young as 9 years old, that are being used to commit crime. And that says we will not take them on. But what we are looking at is who are people that are behind this, that are using children. So we will continue to fight. We do have interventions here. We do have national capacity and capability from the ground, the operatives that are in the Western Cape that will continue to send.
Okay, thank you so much. That is the National Deputy Commissioner there, just speaking to us. As you can see behind her, Arabile, already the police officials are here getting ready for this conference to get underway.
Junior, some important conversations to be had here when we consider the conversations we've had even on this show.